Big hello to everyone. Welcome to the second edition of Cloud Masterclass this year. As Jatinder said, my name is Chintan, and I lead a business called Digital Native Business at Google Cloud. And what our team does is works very closely with some of the most innovative and disruptive startups out there. We have one such startup sharing their journey with us today, and that's Dunzo. Dunzo, when I think of Dunzo, I think of super quick deliveries, and I think of getting anything done, and that's what comes to my mind when I think of Dunzo. Of course, Dunzo was founded, not so long ago in 2015, right out of Bangalore here, where they are headquartered. And from those humble beginnings, Dunzo today is something that has consistently proven its mettle when it comes to being the convenience app for a lot of us. I'm sure a lot of us have used it, and they are expanding rapidly. I think they're expanding to 20 plus cities shortly. And to understand this journey in terms of what goes behind the scenes, to understand the hows and whys of this journey, we have a special guest, as Jatinder said, Mukund. Mukund is the CTO and founder of Dunzo. So welcome once again, Mukund.
So I think eventually, we are a frequency business, right? Like we are a commerce play where people use us 5 to 6 times a month, right? And the core differentiator is providing a great experience to consumers consistently. And I think while it's pretty easy to sort of say that, there is a lot that goes under the hood to make that happen. Primarily, we're an operation sort of business, right? And how we use and utilize technology sort of really make sure that every consumer every single time is getting consistently great experience is the challenge, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that happen under the hood, and I'll get back to growing a bit. So starting from our store operations and supply chain, right? I think we run one of the most efficient stores in the country right now, right? And it is built from a technology first lens. And I think coming from this sort of assumption that what if we were to build a delivery first store, how would it look like, right? So our entire store layouts are designed to map customers' ordering pattern. It's fully digitized, so every rack, every shelf, you can actually see on a computer screen what's happening there, and it changes layout during the day depending on the customer ordering pattern, so that things that are ordered frequently are kept closer, kept near to the counter. Pickers who are in the store get a customized route plan within the store to sort of really go and pick the right items. And I mean, it sounds trivial at the beginning when we started solving the problem, saying that okay, we need to find the fastest route, right? But there's a lot of things that are happening under the hood. For example, you can't put a heavy item over something breakable, right? So you can't put let's say atta packet on top of Maggie or things like that. So we had to rethink some of those things and saying that okay, heaviest item needs to go at the bottom. Things that can be picked together, can they be kept together in the shelf, right? So we have done a lot of machine learning there to sort of really understand what are the best possible way to solve some of these solutions. There's a lot of things happening at the QC step, also the quality check step, where we use a lot of image recognition, we use a lot of barcode scanning. Our picker app is actually a primary video app where there's a camera always on, and the camera tries to keep giving me feedback in terms of have you missed out on an item, is the expiry correct before you pick up the item. So I think a lot of that has really helped us reduce the store pick time. We can actually, even on the largest basket size, we're able to pick, pack, and ship within 2 minutes today, right? And it's coming down with every change that we ship, this time it's sort of reducing, right? So that's pretty interesting there. Second innovation, I would say that we have put a lot of effort in is really figuring out our store location. So we take into account our demand pattern, our potential future demand patterns, to really figure out where do we locate our stores, right? Because that sort of is a large investment from our side, so we try to figure out which location will sort of really help us deliver to most of our consumers in the shortest possible time. On the supply side, so we call supply as delivery partner side. We are currently rethinking our entire network design, right? Initially, the network design was built for this marketplace world where there can be multiple stores, but now our traffic is getting concentrated on one store. And one of the big advantages that we also have is that we serve multiple categories. So whether it's B2B logistics, it's marketplace, medicine, other things, and that really helps us shape supply really well, position supply really well in terms of like the cross benefits that we can get from multiple categories in terms of our economics, and because different categories have different peaks at different hours, like food will have in the evenings and B2B will have in the afternoon and things like that. So we are applying a lot of optimization and machine learning to sort of really optimize every single bit of this thing, and eventually like it's a business of running a very hyper optimized network, right? And I think every aspect that we pick in Dunzo, and you double click, you'll see that there's a lot of things going under the hood. Whether it's customer support, where we are trying to surface real time information about what the user journey was, right, for a customer, so that they can actually really pinpoint what could be an issue. To consumer side, where a lot of deep personalization is happening. Like one of the things that we are trying to sort of really do is that every store, every hour, the catalog needs to be customized to the geos. For example, in the morning we see a lot of milk orders, and in the evening we see a lot of Coke and chips, right? So how do we sort of really use this limited space that we have to really keep customizing it for a customer's need? And we're focusing a lot on just-in-time inventory as well. Like how do we connect these multiple stores together to get just-in-time inventory to all the stores? There's also like a huge focus on operational excellence, right? Where like we track something called a perfect order as a North Star metric, where any sort of a defect, and when we say defect, it is as simple as reaching an ETA to a customer reaching out, even to our bots. We measure that as a breach in terms of consumer trust, and we continuously try to optimize that where where every order needs to run perfectly for a consumer. So a lot of things are happening under the hood. On the drone bit, like we started a few pilots, and I think now, like recently, regulations are getting a lot more comfortable with commercial drones. So you'll see a lot more things coming up. Like one of the things that we are starting off is connecting multiple stores through drones, so we can actually fulfill this just-in-time inventory even better. So I think over the next couple of years, I'm pretty confident that a lot of things that we'll do will move to autonomous delivery networks. Yeah, I think data is increasingly becoming more and more important, right? Like today, I think data is at the heart of most of the decisions that we make, either manually or automatically through machines, right? And over time, we have learned democratizing the access to this data and timely information is really critical to business success. In fact, we are currently rebuilding our entire data stack from ground up to make it even better. One thing unique to our business is that our data needs are extremely real time in nature, because we are doing 90 minutes delivery. Things need to move really fast, and the feedback loops need to be really sharp for people to sort of manage things on the ground. Right. For us, I think if I were to sort of divide the data use case, I think there'll be three large buckets. Like one is customer understanding. Like how do we sort of really understand our customers better through the data? Second, I would say is around operational agility and excellence. So how do we provide feedback to everybody on the ground to sort of really react to things that are happening and have the right information to sort of take decisions? And third is probably around optimization and efficiency, where more and more how do we enable our systems to take intelligent decisions in real time, right? I think there are various classes of problems that we're trying to solve through this. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. For example, one of the big problems that we're trying to solve right now is how do we prevent wastage and out of stock problem in our stores. The data comes really handy there, and so one of the key metrics that we track is how available the item is at the store. So if you're trying to order something during the day, how many times do we show an out of stock to a user for a key item, right? And so we are using a lot of product level and store level forecasting right now to sort of build that intelligence where we can predict what is going to sell at what rate and at what time do we need to replenish it. There's a bunch of things happening on the customer side, personalization. I talked a little bit about the store location planning. A lot of that is data-driven decisions for us. Even on the sort of driver side, a lot of the allocation decisions that are being made are done with sort of prediction in terms of what kind of supply are we going to see today, what kind of demand are we going to see today, how do we sort of predict those patterns. We do a lot of extensive work on customer insights. So we like if you come to Dunzo, you would realize that we are a very metric-driven organization. So everything that we do needs to have a number and a data point behind it. We are very obsessed about our funnel data. Any new use case that we see, any for example, like some of the our assortment planning and our selection planning happens based on the search people are doing on the platform, right? So we mine a lot of that data to see what might be our customers' needs that we are not serving today, right? So a lot of that goes into the customer insight bit. In terms of operational agility and excellence, we have pretty interesting alerting system which are based on anomaly detection, where we detect whether certain things are off track from what we were seeing as a trend. So let's say geography suddenly starts having lesser number of searches, right? Like there may be a bug that has gone out, or let's say an item is actually selling it much faster than we had predicted. So we need to sort of order for replenishment. So a lot of those things are sort of happening, and I would say like for a business like ours, which is very real time, which is very operationally sort of heavy, and the margins are sort of thin in a grocery business. Like for us to be able to utilize our data and have that as a fundamental driver of automated and manual decisions in the business is really critical, right? And we do a lot of other things as well, where we sort of do random explorations of data in terms of new sessions that are coming up which never showed up before, in terms of understanding where the customers are coming from. I saw some slides around customer segmentation. So we use a lot of that to sort of really get deeper insight into our customers and identify what are the next needs for the customer. So yeah, I think data is extremely critical, and a lot of the business outcome and insights that we get in terms of direction are often driven by data. I mean, there's a bit of intuition as well, but a lot of it is backed by data. Yeah, I think it's been great to be on Google Cloud. I think Google Cloud offering has really enabled us to move fast and modernize our data stack. And just to throw some numbers, right? Like when we before Google Cloud, like freshness used to be a problem. Our general data refreshes used to take anywhere between 9 to 25 hours. Now, like the oldest data that we have is 15 minutes old, right? So we've been able to really get that done. We had no stream processing before. Now, like we have like almost 30-second latency on the streams. In fact, while doing all this, we have been able to reduce our costs by almost 80%. If you adjust for scale today, right? And yeah, I mean, I think like the offerings is pretty interesting. I mean, we use almost everything that is provided, like whether it's Cloud Composer or Bigtable or Cloud Run. Data flow is really big part of it. Like now we are able to write the same code, whether it's running batch, micro batch, stream. And I think like BigQuery has been really useful, and we have been able to really use that as a central piece of data lake. So we have been able to put everything there, and most of the like analytics and everything runs on that. One of the interesting things that we have recently started is so far data has been a consumer, right? Where like it consumes data from production systems, and generally it's a view only thing where people can actually look at it and do things. Now we have recently started investing in reverse ETL, where a lot of these insights and other things that are running in data platforms are pushed back to our services. And for example, I talked about this pickers at the store. So right now, all of the allocation of them, like which picker should get what task, is driven completely through our data platform, and so that's been pretty interesting. We are also like as part of our new data platform stack that we're writing, using data catalog, DLP, to sort of really sort out our governance. And one of the pain points that we have as a growing org is that the consistency becomes really difficult because people have teams have organically been mushroomed, and problems have been changing. So I think having things like data catalog, where we are able to like really consolidate schema, do data modeling well, a lot of those things have really helped us, get a lot more out of our data than before, right? and recently we have started investing a lot more on Vertex. So I think that's really promising. Whether it's AutoML, the batch predict, and notebook, and I think it takes a lot of the complexity out of what a data science team needs to focus on, right? And we've been able to get a lot of the I think it has dropped the cost of experimentation, right? For us, earlier it used to be really expensive from the learning and from the developer's time perspective to like put, let's say, the data science model in production and experiment quickly with something. So a lot of the skew prediction that I talked about, a lot of the supply demand prediction that happens, most of this now is sort of running via Vertex. So I'm really excited about some of those things that are coming out, and I think as you guys add more capability, I think we'll benefit from that.
Thank you so much, Mukund. I think it was a wonderful conversation to hear you and how you running some of the things behind the scenes.